personas que se van, pero te enseñan quién eres de verdad. Ahora camino más lento, pero no voy perdido. Ya no rezo a lo que se fue, rezo a lo que sigue conmigo. Si vuelvo a amar, que sea limpio. Si vuelvo a caer, que sea creciendo, que no me encuentren roto en el suelo, sino reconstruyéndome en silencio. Y no busco certezas, busco paz al respirar, porque seguir en pie después de todo también es un acto de fe real. No me cierre la puerta si me ves dudar, que creer pues de tanto también cansa de más. No me apagues ahora, déjame intentar, que si sigo de pie porque yo no me soltó cuando aprendí a caer de verdad. Perdí más de lo que no vine a ser visto, vine a ser sentido. No nací pa' escenario, ni pa' aplauso, ni foco. Nací pa' entender la herida que se queda cuando está roto. Yo conozco el cansancio de fingir que todo va bien, de sonreír por fuera mientras algo muere por dentro también. He sido el que aguanta callado, el que no sabe pedir, el que aprueba demasiado tarde lo que es quedarse y no huir. Si hablo es porque dolió, si escribo es porque viví. Mi propósito no es sonar, es llegar. No es que me escuchen, es que alguien pueda respirar. Si una sola persona se siente menos sola aquí, entonces todo este dolor tuvo sentido en mí. No soy ejemplo perfecto, soy proceso abierto aún. Soy la prueba de que el alma también aprende en lo oscuro y común. He amado hasta perderme, he confiado sin medir, he tocado fondo tantas veces que aprendí a no fingir. Hoy no vendo superación, ni milagros ni final. Solo digo cesar el espacio cuando decides no abandonar. No soy quien canta la voz, soy quien sangra la canción. Mi propósito no es fama, es verdad. Es que alguien escucha esto y se pueda levantar. Si mis letras son puentes entre tu dolor y tu fe, entonces todo lo vivido valió lo que conté. Yo no vine a impresionar, vine a acompañar, porque sé lo que...
All right, here we go. How's everybody doing today? Okay. I am waiting for my co-host, and I've not seen him appear yet. So Hey, let me do this real quick. Add this guy as my new panelist. All right. First of all, um, thank you for being here. And I'm going to share my screen real quick with you. That is not what I want you to see, but it's cool anyways. So here we go. That is not it either. There we go. Before we start, I just want to have a short conversation. I love my technology. I really know what I'm doing. um, I did know what I was doing. I was all prepared, and right now, it's not working as cool as I wanted it to. So, with that being said, you're gonna get what I have to offer. This the way it is. Here we go. I think I'm a little better now. All right. Um, Look, before we go anywhere, let me just ask you, why are you here? So thank you for being here, but why are you here? And before you answer that question, I want you to really consider the fact that you could be anywhere today, right? You could have been doing anything, and your life is something that I want to tell you that I respect, and your time. So, a couple things before we really get going is, why are you here? I know why I'm here. I'm here because I want to share something with you that should take no more than 30 minutes. If you want to go further and you'll have some questions afterwards, I'll open the mic and we'll have a conversation. If this is of any interest to you, we can take it down that path. If not, uh, today I want to tell you how I rebuild my body, how I sharpened my mind, and how I regained control over my life when I was paralyzed from the neck down, when my life went into a tailspin so hard um, that it would take hours to tell you that story. Okay? What I've done over a time, over a lifetime, is I've learned some really cool things that I want to share with you tonight. There is there's no sales. I'm not trying to sell you something. There is no guru at the end either. There is no switch. I just want to share something that it's a lot easier for me to show you than it is to actually tell you. Why? Because these 50 days cover a lot. But before we go there, again, I'm going to ask you, look within, not just a simple, yeah, I'm here because I was invited because it's interesting, but look deeper within yourself and decide, why are you here? This may seem a little bit odd to you, but that's okay. This is more than just a question. This is about resonance. This is about you sitting yourself and regaining rather than reacting. Think about this. Right now, there's fear, anxiety, and along with that, there's some loneliness like never before. Look, maybe you're one of these people that feels that pressure, that energy, and that you feel like there's more to you, to your life, than all the chaos that's going on. Let's be honest, right? Maybe you feel like the world and this era is squeezing upon you. I talk to men all the time, and let me tell you, there is a lot of pain. All right. Not only that, but in keeping time with why are you here, I want to tell you the timing of all of this is really important. Tonight, I could be somewhere else as well. The Jewish people tonight, the Messianic people, those who practice Judaism, and those that are not practicing Jews, meaning they're secular. Tonight is a really big night. It's called the Seder, and it means order. So, and we are entering in the Midwest the spring of the year. And so flowers are growing. All these other things are happening right now. You know, motorcycles are out and all these kind of things are happening. And on top of all of that, we got a looming World War III potential, like we've never had that tangible. Prices are going all over the place, and AI seems to be taking over the financial world. I have a tendency to teach, but today I truly want to keep it short, and I'm not trying to teach. I just want to share with you where we're at. The teaching will come afterwards. If you want to learn more, then on the other teachings, first let me tell you what they are, and I'll get that off the block. Those teachings that I'm talking about is the depths of the astrological timing, right? We got a full moon, we have a new moon, we have all these things that are taking place, and all of them coincide to tell us a story. And that takes, again, quite a bit of time when we're not covering that today. So now I've told you about, you know, the story of fully recovering my body, and all of that. And I'm telling you that there is a special timing that happens every year about this time. Easter is about to take place for the Christians on Sunday. So there is a tightening around the world of a shift, and maybe you're feeling it inside. And if you are, then I think you might be in the right place. So that was me by way of introduction. I want to tell you that again, there is no catch in the middle, there is no catch in the end. And the bottom line, it's easier for me to show you than to tell you. And because of that, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to show you something that's real. You know, like I said, the real problem that no one wants to talk about is that there is a group of population across the world that is the most underserved community, and that is the community of manhood. Masculinity is the most underserved group. And you know what? There are people that are dealing with this anxiety and the growing sense of distrust within ourselves. So we become dysfunctional as a society. We become dysfunctional. And you know, those of us that feel it, you feel like something's off. It doesn't matter what level of your success, but we're all feeling it. See, when your energy is inconsistent, when your thoughts are all over the place and it's hard to focus and it's hard to accomplish certain things, that pressure builds up, and it comes to the point where it gives you, not just anxiety, fear, and distrust. It causes a biochemical problem in your body. That biochemical problem is known as cortisol, which eats away at your muscles, and it causes you to have more fat, and that fat causes it turns into adipose tissue, which is fat around the liver, fat around certain organs. That fat actually has an intelligence that shuts down your testosterone. And if you're a woman, then it affects your estrogen. And so we start to fall apart from the inside. And that's where cancers come. And that's where parasites and sickness and disease all just jumps in there all at the same time, because it takes advantage of that moment. So, with all of that being said, I'm telling you that for the last 25 years, okay, I have done something consistently. And that consistency is what I'm talking about here, the 50 days. I have a private page on Facebook called the Sovereign War Room. There, I'm going to be sharing more of these details. But before I tell you a little bit more, I just want to cover a couple of these pictures. I want you to notice what should make no logical sense. This picture is me younger than the other pictures that I'm about to show you. This picture right here on the left is 50 days apart from this other picture next to it on the right. You see, there's no shortcuts. This is not theory. This is just discipline and removing the interference and the distractions. So, like I said, you'll see, right? Unkept, all messed up hair. Look at the condition of the hair. It's not shiny, right? Look at the bags under the eyes, right? And if you look at the eyes themselves, you see that they lack luster. Whereas if you look at the picture next to it, 50 days later, there's eyes that are full of energy, and you don't have that severity of the bags under the eyes. Okay, this is me at 10%, about 12% body fat, and the last one on the right is me when I jump in every year. I jump in the lake. This particular one was in 2020, I believe, and 2021. Yeah, that Christmas. And when I got out of the water, the ice had already frozen on my body. So, you see, over those 25 years, now that you've seen what's on these pictures, I want to tell you that what had happened is that I had to come to a place of strength because I was paralyzed from the neck down. The left side of my body was atrophiated, and out of shape. I had no control. This was in 1998 when I suffered a horse-related accident, and it took me, some time for that whole thing to happen. But I want to tell you that I was so fat that my legs were rubbing against each other. I had hemorrhoids. I had erectile dysfunction. My urine would leak out, and it would dribble. And I was in pain. I had cortisol so strong that my body hurt all the time, and I kept taking ibuprofen. So I hurt my liver and my kidneys. But over time, with discipline, I learned something simple. The body will recover. The mind will clear. But only when you remove that interference. And as you can see in these pictures, this is what I looked like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, that's pushing almost 40% body fat. And what you're seeing is the adipose tissue around the belly is pushing all the other stuff, because you see that fat that wraps around your midsection, you can't feel the adipose. You can only feel the other one, the fluffy fat. So even a skinny person can have this adipose tissue in their body. Now, as you can see, you can change from chaos to clarity, and the body tells the story and the body keeps the record. All your emotions are trapped inside your body. Um, there's a lot of people out there that tell you, you know, about health, nutrition, mindset, performance, and they'll scientifically tell you all kinds of information, and they have great teachings, which I love, okay? But there's something more than just information. It's going deeper and knowing what's happening in your mitochondrial function. It's the inflammation, it's the hormones, it's the microplastics, and the lack of longevity. These are the things that these gurus sometimes talk about, but I want you to look at their bodies, look at their faces, look at them as they're teaching, and what are they trying to tell you, right? Just like science. Oh, take these medications. This is going to help you lose weight. It's going to help you with your XYZ. But all the side effects, they tell you that too, right? It'll kill you. So, because this is about lifestyle, again, the best way that I can do this is by teaching you personally, by showing you what I do, and what I do every year for 50 days, and how I've developed a system that works for me. So I figure the best way is walk you through every day. For other people that want to get into the esoteric and want to talk about the spiritual aspect of all of these things, which is absolutely phenomenal, that'll be separate teaching, and you'd have to let me know by telling me that you're interested in that, okay? And those are longer teachings, and I'll be doing that tomorrow night, teaching some more about that on a different Zoom call. So, why is it that most men feel off? There are some of you that are fighting some incredible fights. And I tell you, I know you personally. And so, thank you for fighting that fight, my brother. But the reason why we get confused, the reason why we run out of energy, is because we don't understand how health, nutrition affects the mindset, and the performance of your thinking is directly connected to how much your body can take. See, the mitochondria are these little tiny energy cells inside your body. Everything that I have developed over the last 25 some years, science is now talking about it. They're saying, red light therapy, fast, sauna, eat a certain kind of way. Well, guess what? That's why I am sharing this, because I go, that's not news to me. That's something that I find it interesting that people want to call themselves gurus, and they've only come on the field of this in the last couple of years. But tell you what, my people, my mom, my grandmother, they've been doing this since I was a little boy, and even before I was ever born. So this is the simplest way that I can put it, okay? If you do something consistently, rather than allowing something to consume you, if you do something with reason rather than reacting. If you do something to lead you into a purposeful direction rather than carrying stress, you will get to that place of peace. You will have clarity about your mind and your existence. You see, the body is inflamed because of the habits, and the habits are there to help you protect you from the things that you don't want to look at. And that's where foggy mind comes in, a combination of stress and food and the wrong foods at the wrong times and the wrong thinking. And so I like to tell you that emotions are the software of what is coming from the mind and your spirit. And when you become reactive, you're no longer in control. Your emotions are leading you. And that's exactly the way the world wants us to stay. So your presence weakens. You have lost clarity. And maybe that's why you're here. So, how do we fix this, right? You see, more supplements, more information, and more effort is just not going to solve it, because it has to be stacked appropriately. And you have to go through all these processes to get there. Right now, there's so much information being bombarded into your mind, and you're doing some double takes and everything else. You know why? Because you can think 6 times faster than my mouth can process information. So the core truth that this is it. If your body's off, your mind will be off. There are some people that are intelligent, don't get me wrong. And there's some people that are really smart. Still, I know martial artists that are great martial artists, and they drink and they get fat and they die from a heart attack. These are great martial artists. And if your mind is off because of the other things mentioned, then you will hesitate. You will say, yeah, I'm going to do that, and you forget. Yeah, I'm going to take action on that. And then you begin to second guess yourself. And then when you second guess yourself, you lose clarity. When you lose clarity, your capacity to be present when it matters the most is going to weaken. That's the core truth. And so the solution is not adding more. It's removing interference. What is this interference that I'm talking about? The interference is really there are 5 different energies that are being sent to you. Okay, you got emotions, you got feelings, you got thoughts, but in your thoughts you have the brain thoughts and then you have the mind thoughts. Those are separate, right? And then you have social media, you got all these other things. You got nature and nurture that affects the way we think. So let me tell you what this 50-day is composed and how this moves forward to remove all those pieces. The first one is to remove the garbage. Let the system breathe. It's 10 days of a cleanse. Like spring cleaning. You clean your house, you throw all the stuff that you've kept in the wintertime. You open the windows to allow some of that staleness to leave and the smells that are strong, right? That's cleansing. So we're going to clean the body first by eliminating some foods and eating some other ones and just changing the environment. 10 days. Easy peasy. Okay? Then the next 10 days is phase 2, is where you begin to detox. That's different. Detox is like scrubbing in the house, scrubbing the walls and scrubbing the dirt, all of that. That's phase 2 for the next 10 days. You take some herbs. I will be taking herbs. I will be taking very specific foods that clean me on the inside, detox the kidneys, the liver, and start moving. So the first part is to clear your intestinal so that the pipe from your mouth all the way to your butthole is clear to get rid of the junk. Then you begin the detox. Okay? Then the third phase is, now that you've detoxed and you've cleansed first, now you can absorb. So we're going to go to, now the body can actually absorb what it needs. And therefore, I'm going to be covering all this high nutrition, high frequency, things that I've learned from Dr. Emoto and from other researchers on how to get the best nutrition out of food. You see, I'll tell you real quick. Meat, the moment that you kill the animal, harvest the meat, it begins the decay process. And so we try to slow it down, and we try to get it to the stores as quickly as possible. I'm talking about the foods that are alive. No, I'm not talking about vegetarianism, okay? I'm just telling you that this is all part of the process. High foods that cause you, and then you start seeing how your mind illuminates and how your body moves and how your sleep is better and deeper. Then comes phase 4. Okay? That's going to be liquid simplification. You get to rest your organs. All now that we've cleansed them, we've detoxed them, we've given them plenty of nutrition, and now we're going to let them relax for the next 10 days. This is a reduced intake, but an increased efficiency. All right? And then the last, full system reset. When you get to the point where you can have good, clean water in your system, you have done this process consistently stepping down, what's going to happen is you're going to draw from a place that you've never drawn before. And the science is there to back it up. We're going to be covering all that information during this period of time on my Facebook and on the Zoom teachings. Okay? The real result at the very end of all of this. How am I doing on time? Okay, I started a little bit late, so let's cover this real quick. Here's the real result. Okay, when the body clears, when you are clear, the mind becomes clear. When your mind is clear, you stop second guessing yourself. Underneath everything is anxiety, fear, distrust, and self-doubt. But when you get to the other side, the process brings you back to clarity, control, self-trust, and the biggest one, congruence. That's, some people call it peace. Some people call it the anointing. That's what congruence is. You're at this level of clarity that is absolutely mind-boggling. You see, where you want, what you think, feel, and do are 100% aligned with one another. When that happens, you don't need motivation because you already move with clarity, with cleanliness, and you move with purpose. Instead of asking why, everything comes clear. You see, now you can integrate life. And I got paralyzed from the neck down in 1998 due to a horse-related accident. Today, and for many years, I'm still able to box, surf, ride horses, motorcycle. I have a full active life. And everything is working. So, because when alignment happens, you feel life differently. Your energy changes, your presence becomes more evident. I'm telling you, what you do, the activities, the simple things, riding, moving, being outside, it feels sharper. You breathe with a deeper understanding. It's everything is more real, more alive. The colors you'll see they become clear. And for men, I want to tell you this: your family will feel it before you even walk in the door. Your environment will begin to respond to you. Your decisions become easier because you're no longer carrying noise. It's as simple as that. And I want to tell you, this is what the Sovereign Father War Room is all about. When I talk about faith, I'm not talking about religion. When I talk about family, I'm not talking about dysfunctional. When I'm talking about freedom, I'm not talking about, the false sense of freedom that you feel like you belong to a club. It's the freedom where you know internally that you are yourself. Discipline is not being punished, but discipline is you become a disciple of yourself. I've taught this privately for many years. I've been paid thousands of dollars to guide people. This time, I'm not selling. I'm doing it. And I'm documenting it. So, if you want to come watch, watch. If you want to come learn, learn. If you were ready to step into this, then that's a different conversation. That's it. There is nothing else. And so I am going to go into the question and answer part of this process. And let me real quick. Here we go. Now we're at the point where we can talk about these things. Hello, everybody. There's a question here. Yeah. Said, so somebody wrote, yeah, real discipline isn't just physical. It's how you train your body, control your mind, and stay consistent, even when it's uncomfortable. And that's where the real change starts. Look, it's only uncomfortable until you bring your body into discipline, and then it becomes fun. And another person wrote, interesting how it's rarely one thing. It's a combination of stress, environment, and habits stacking over time that creates this. 100%. People always want to look at the end result and say, I want that, but I don't want to put in the work. And when you do small changes, it has an outcome that is not only quantifiable, but it's actually like a quantum leap. I'm telling you, what happens when you can get to the point where you can do a long-term fast, more than a week? In 10 days, there's a whole world of difference. But to get there, you want to be able to get the toxins out of your body first. Otherwise, it'll creep into your thinking. It'll make you feel sick. And some people get so sick that they got to be hospitalized because they don't know how to do this. Okay. And then an anonymous says, I love this. Powerful work. Keep it up. Well, thank you for that encouragement. At this point, I'm going to check the notes to see if there's anybody that has any questions. Okay, is there anybody that has anything that they want to cover? It looks like I've answered everything that there was to be discussed. And with that being said, so I'll give you a couple of minutes while I look at this one more time. All right. It looks like there are no more questions or there are no more comments. And tomorrow, if you want some more deeper stuff, I'll be doing that. For tonight, I want you to hear this one last thing, okay? I asked you in the beginning, why did you come here? And it's, think of it this way. If you can unify within yourself and get congruence, think what it's going to do to the people around you. And if there's enough people that begin to do this process consistently, we might see something bigger than Dr. Emoto, whose memory I bring with great joy. He did a study before he passed away in 2014. What he did is he sent out, had some criterias. 2 people in one city, and the city had to have high crime and had to have a body of water that fed that city. So, and that body of water had to be accessible by the 2 people. And it didn't matter their faith, it didn't matter their belief. Their job was to go together and to go to that body of water for 30 days. I think it was 30, or maybe it was 20 days, because it was 20, 20, 20, right? It was 20 people, 20 cities, and 20 minutes. And their job, and 2 people, their job was to go to the body of water and think and speak good thoughts. I want you to know that 100% of those cities recorded a drop in crime, at least 20%, if not more, for 30 days. If we could align ourselves, whew, that's what the kind of thing that we could do together. And that's why I am sharing what I'm doing, what I have been doing for a while. Okay, take care, and bid you good night. See you around. Ciao.